Tonight, we open another page of the Black Salt Ledger, and this time, the page itself is the mystery. Somewhere in a temperature-controlled vault at Yale University sits a small, plain book, about 240 pages long, written 600 years ago on calfskin parchment. It is covered, cover to cover, in confident, flowing handwriting, and in strange, careful drawings of plants, stars, and bathing figures. There is just one problem. No one can read a word of it. Not scholars, not linguists, not the finest codebreakers the modern world has ever produced. For more than a century, the brightest minds alive have stared at this book, and it has told them nothing. It is known today as the Voynich Manuscript. To hold it would be unremarkable, a worn medieval codex, the kind that fills the rare book rooms of old libraries. But open it, and the ordinary ends. The text runs in neat lines, left to right, written by a steady hand that clearly knew exactly what it was writing. There are around 170,000 characters in it. They are built from an alphabet of perhaps 2 or 3 dozen symbols, and those symbols match no known writing system on Earth. Not Latin, not Greek, not Arabic, not anything ever found before or since. If the words give nothing away, the pictures only deepen it. There are pages of plants, drawn in careful detail, roots, leaves, and flowers. And yet botanists cannot identify most of them, because they do not appear to be real plants. There are astronomical pages, suns, moons, stars, circular charts that look like zodiacs. There are strange green pools where small naked figures stand connected by tubes and channels. And there are pages that look like recipes, marked with stars. Every section looks purposeful. Not one of them can be explained. The book takes its name from the man who made it famous. In 1912, a book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich was sorting through a forgotten chest of manuscripts at a Jesuit college outside Rome when he found it. He recognized at once that he was holding something extraordinary, a book in an unknown hand that no one could read. And he spent the rest of his life trying to prove what it was, and failing. The manuscript carried his name from then on. For a long time, the obvious suspicion was that the whole thing was a modern fake, that Voynich, or someone before him, had simply invented it. So in 2009, scientists settled the oldest question first. They carbon dated the parchment itself at the University of Arizona. The result? The calfskin was made in the early 1400s, roughly 6 centuries ago. Whatever the Voynich manuscript is, it is genuinely, provably old. It was written long before modern hoaxes, long before modern codes, and long before anyone could have known how completely it would resist us. The paper trail runs almost as cold as the text. The earliest hard evidence is a letter from 1665, sent with the book to a famous scholar in Rome, asking for help reading it. 3.5 centuries ago, they were already stuck. Before that, the trail dissolves into rumor that it once belonged to a Holy Roman emperor who is said to have paid a small fortune for it, that it was the work of the medieval genius Roger Bacon. But Bacon died in the 1200s, more than a century before this parchment was even made. So whatever it is not his. The author remains to this day completely unknown. This is not a puzzle that only amateurs have failed to solve. During the Second World War, some of the greatest codebreakers in history, the people who broke the ciphers of entire nations, turned their attention to the Voynich Manuscript in their spare time. The man who helped crack Japan's wartime codes spent years on it. He never solved it. Since then, professional cryptographers, mathematicians, and intelligence agencies have all taken their turn. Every one of them has walked away empty-handed. And here is the detail that makes it so maddening. When you analyze the text the way a linguist would, counting how often words appear, how they cluster, how they are built, the Voynich Manuscript behaves like a real language. Its word frequencies follow the same mathematical patterns that natural human languages do. Real writing has a hidden fingerprint, a statistical rhythm. And this book has it. That is extraordinarily hard to fake, by simply scribbling nonsense. By the numbers, it looks like someone, somewhere, was actually saying something. So if it carries the fingerprint of meaning, why can no one find it? Because the text also breaks the rules. Certain symbols appear only at the beginnings of words, others only at the ends. Some words repeat 2 or 3 times in a row, which almost no real language does. It looks like language. And then, just as you lean in, it does something no language should. It is as if someone built a perfect mask of meaning, and we have spent 600 years trying to see the face behind it. The first explanation is the simplest, that it is a code, a real message, in Latin, perhaps, or some European tongue, deliberately encrypted by a method we have never identified. Medieval Europe loved its secrets. Scholars hid knowledge in cipher all the time. But every cipher ever invented before the modern age has eventually been broken. This one has not. If it is a code, it is a code centuries ahead of its time. The second is stranger, that the author did not encode a language, they built one. A whole artificial script and grammar invented from nothing, the way some later thinkers tried to design perfect languages. It would explain why the text matches no known tongue, because it never belonged to one. The man who broke Japan's codes came in the end to suspect something like this. But an invented language is still meant to say something, and we still cannot say what. The third is the most deflating, that it means nothing at all, that it is an elaborate fake, built by a clever forger to look like a profound, secret book, perhaps to sell to a rich collector who would pay a fortune for hidden wisdom. It is a tempting answer, but it runs straight into the numbers from earlier. Pure gibberish does not naturally carry the statistical fingerprint of language. To fake that, by hand, 600 years ago, across 200 pages, would itself be a kind of genius. The fourth reads the pictures instead of the words. Plants, stars, bathing women, recipes. Taken together, that is the shape of a very ordinary kind of medieval book. A herbal, a health manual, perhaps a guide to women's medicine, written in cipher or shorthand to guard a healer's trade. It is the most down-to-earth theory of all, and yet not one of those impossible plants has ever been matched to a real one, and not one line of those recipes has ever been read. It is worth slowing down here, the way this ledger always does. Every few years, someone announces that they have finally solved it. A lost dialect, a forgotten code, a trick of abbreviation. And every few years, the experts examine the claim, and it falls apart. Modern computers and artificial intelligence can now describe the text in astonishing detail, its patterns, its structure, its rhythm. They simply cannot read it. The honest position is not that we are close. It is that we have a real book, written by a real person with real intent, and after 600 years, we cannot recover a single word of what they meant. So this is what the record holds. A book, 6 centuries old, written in a careful hand that never wavered, in a language that looks alive and stays silent. Pictures of a world that does not quite exist, an author as with no name, no nation, and no surviving voice. Someone sat down 600 years ago and filled 200 pages with something they clearly believed was worth writing down, and then carried the meaning of it with them, out of history, and left us only the shape. The ledger doesn't close a file like this. It keeps it beside the others still waiting for an answer. A message we cannot read is one kind of impossible thing. Our next file is another. Not a message, but a machine. A device of bronze gears and dials, hauled up from a 2,000-year-old shipwreck, built to do something the ancient world was never supposed to be able to do. Another file, already open. Follow the ledger, and we'll turn the page together.